Christie. It is Sunday afternoon. I'm relaxing. I just put an apple pie in the oven. First apple pie that I've made in several years. So I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're gonna give it a try. I found a recipe. I think I used to do it by heart, and I don't know what recipe I used that I had memorized before. So I got a new recipe, but I didn't follow it exactly because that recipe called for like cooking the apple mixture before you put it in the pie, which I never did. I just kind of mixed it up, threw it in the pie and baked it. So I don't know. We're gonna see how it turns out. I used 4 large Granny Smith apples. I like Granny Smith because they're more tart, and I just feel like that adds depth to the pie. And so because they were large, see the recipe called for 8 apples, but I think they were expecting smaller ones. So I still have 4 apples left. So the good news is if this pie doesn't turn out, I can just make another one because I still have 4 apples left. So yay for that. What is unfortunate is I have like an apple corer and peeler that I used to always use when making pies or doing really anything with apple slices. And it didn't work very well. I think the apples were just too big for it and it just couldn't deal with them. I'm pretty sure there's adjustments that you can make to it for different sizes of apples. But again, I haven't used it in so long that I've actually forgotten how to do it. So I'll have to take a look at the thing before I make another pie because I ended up having to manually peel and slice the apples this time around, which was not really, I didn't care for that part. I mean, it's not hard. The thing is so easy. Like literally you put the apple and you turn a crank and it just, anyway, I would rather do that. But the apple the pie is in the oven and now I'm back to relaxing. But let me tell you about my week because it was not the week that I was expecting to have. I will tell you that. This week in the U.S. was Thanksgiving week. So happy Thanksgiving to any of my viewers in the U.S. Anyone outside the U.S., happy week. So the first thing that happened this week was my mom moved. So she's been living on her own in an apartment for a while now, and she's actually still fine to live on her own, but we decided to go ahead and move her in with my sister. It'll be better for her to be with family. So they actually have a huge house. My sister and brother-in-law have a really nice house, and they had an unfinished 3rd floor like attic space. And so what they decided to do is renovate the 3rd floor to be their new master, and then give my mom their current master bedroom, which is on the ground floor. My mom's lease is over at the end of this month, November. Unfortunately, the renovations aren't quite done. They're super close, but they're not quite done. So what we ended up having to do was move mom into their guest room temporarily, and then she'll move into the ground floor master once all the renovations are complete, which again, should be very soon. We're hoping pre-Christmas. We'll see. So what we ended up doing was getting a storage pod thing, a storage unit, and putting all of her big furniture and big boxes and things that'll go in the master suite into the storage thing. And she just basically packed up the things that she needs now for while she's in the guest bedroom. And so Tuesday evening was when we moved everything out of the apartment, either into our cars to take, to the guest room or into the storage pod. And it all went well. Mom was actually not there. She was attending a birthday party for a friend, but it was fine. There were 5 of us, my sister, brother-in-law, 2 of their friends, and myself. And I think we managed to move everything out of the apartment in, I think it was less than 2 hours, maybe around 2 hours, something like that. I remember getting home on Tuesday evening way sooner than I expected. I headed over there at like 5 p.m. and I feel like I was home before 7. So that was pretty cool. So I was glad, we got all that done, and we've been gradually, she has some stuff in my guest bedroom actually at the moment, some small boxes and things that she knew she would want before we were able to empty the storage pod, but not necessarily right away. So she comes over almost every day and gets some stuff out of my guest bedroom, which is fine. It's great. I love spending time with mom, so she can come over anytime. But that all happened Tuesday evening. Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, mom and my sister and I had one of our little ladies' day out, and mainly because we wanted to do our pre-Christmas shopping. So each year, we've only missed 1 year. The 3 of us go out shopping because my mom likes to buy us clothes or whatever for Christmas, and that way we get to shop for the clothes together, and we have the time together as part of the gift in addition to just the actual clothing, which is really nice and something we look forward to every year. So we went to our usual, the Japanese place that we like, got lunch, and then did the shopping. We had finished the clothing shopping. I didn't find anything, so I think Mom's gonna have to use my Amazon wish list, sadly. But anyway, we were headed to Best Buy because Mom wanted to take a look again at the mini fridges, because she's gonna have a little mini fridge in her giant walk-in closet that's gonna be half closet, half pantry. And I started to feel really bad in the car on the way there, and I was like, oh man. So they were like, oh, you know, should we not go? And I said, no, go ahead. I said, you know, I can maybe look for a restroom in Best Buy. They probably have a restroom in there. That was the plan. I didn't make it to the restroom. I got sick on the curb outside Best Buy. It was not fun at all. And here's the thing. I have a history of food anxiety, if you know me, or if you've, you know, I think I've mentioned it on this blog before, where I actually had a long period of time in my past where I was literally afraid of food. And every meal that I ate was a chore because I was always afraid it would make me sick. Now, the food that I ate, that the rest, that wasn't it. It couldn't have been. A, because I've had the exact same thing before. B, because my sister and I shared the meal. We ate the same thing. And she didn't get sick, so it couldn't have been the food, right? I know this. In my mind, I know this. So it was either a bug, or it was kind of the anxiety of the move and just everything going on catching up with me. I don't know which of those things it was, but I know it wasn't the food. That does not change the fact that I am now back to having food anxiety, and I really don't like it. I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say I had conquered food anxiety, because I had not, but I had gotten to the point where most meals I was fine, and I didn't need to like work through it for every single meal. It was just occasionally I would get a little, you know, and have to really pray about it and try to work through it before eating. But now I literally feel every time I have to eat that I'm afraid to do it. And it is so frustrating. I really hate it. I'm praying through it. You know, that's all you can really do with something like this. You keep praying, you keep meditating, you keep reminding yourself of the truth. Food is good for you. Food does not hurt you, you know. And here's the thing. I haven't even been sick since Wednesday. I got sick that one time outside the store on the way home once. I was fine. I shouldn't say fine. It took me a minute Wednesday evening to like feel better, but I didn't get sick again after those two times. Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, I stayed home. The family we had reservations at a restaurant, which obviously I wasn't going to do. I stayed home and rested all day Thanksgiving Day. All I had Thanksgiving Day was water and some bland crackers all day. I just was not up to anything else. But I was physically feeling much better. I was physically feeling fine. So then Friday, day after Thanksgiving, actually I think was it that evening or the next day? I think that evening my sister brought, my sister brought me some chicken soup. She decided that she wanted some bland chicken soup. I don't know if I believe that, but hey, not looking a gift horse in the mouth. So she brought me some bland chicken soup, and they did bring me a leftover meal from the restaurant of Thanksgiving food, which I, you know, packaged up and put in the freezer. So I think on Friday I had soup, more bland crackers, of course. I had the soup, I had crackers, and I think in the evening I was able to eat like a handful of green beans. So yesterday I did better. I had an egg for breakfast. I did have more soup. Then for dinner, I had green beans and some chicken wing drumettes, the ones that I cooked in the video last week. And in the evening, I actually had half a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and that went fine as well. So, you know, I've been doing okay, like, I'm, you know, gradually bringing things into the diet. Actually, I think the PBJ was on Friday evening. It was. The PBJ was actually on Friday evening after the green beans, because yesterday, after the green beans and drumettes, I made some golden milk, otherwise known as turmeric tea, because that's very nice, very good for your digestion and just very soothing. It has turmeric, cinnamon, ginger. I put nutmeg in there. It's just very soothing. So I had that, and I actually was able to eat a magical cookie, which is an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. And that was last night. So, you know, I'm doing better. Pardon me. That is the oven telling me that I need to change the temperature on the apple pie. Be right back. Okay. I had to lower the temperature from 425 to 350 for the remainder of the baking time. Anyway, So yeah, I have been doing better with eating. This morning, I woke up super late. I can't even say this morning because I think I got out of the bed at like 11:45 this morning. So I was like, it's basically lunchtime. So I tried to have a bit of the Thanksgiving leftovers they had brought me. And I couldn't do it. I was able to eat the green beans. So because I don't know, green beans are fine. I had like one piece of turkey and a little bit of stuffing, and I was just like, I just can't do it. So I packaged it back up, put it back in the freezer, and I ended up instead just cooking an egg and having some toast. So I had egg and toast for breakfast this morning. And it's actually about time for me to have another meal because that was probably, gosh, I don't know what time that was, that I had the egg. Because, I had the green beans first, and then I was doing stuff, and then I had the egg after the green beans. We're just going to call that brunch. So it's about 4 o'clock now, so I'll need another meal soon, but we'll just do dinner, which will be, again, the green beans and the chicken drumettes, which I can do just fine. But I'll have to do that sometime soon. The problem is I don't feel hungry, so I have to do it by time as opposed to by, like when I feel it. Anyway, it's annoying, and I'm just going to continue to pray through it because I really want to get back to normalcy as soon as possible. It's very tiring to have constant anxiety, especially with something like food. Because, with some anxieties, some things you're anxious about you can avoid, which is not a good idea to do. I mean, you really need to face it in order to conquer the anxiety or to deal with it. But with food, it's like multiple times a day you are confronted with the anxiety, and it's just so tiring. I think that's why I slept so late. Like I'm just tired. But I'm determined to kind of get back to normalcy. So today, I went out grocery shopping today. That was the first time I'd really left the house since I've been sick. And it took a minute. It took me a minute. I was like, there's really no reason to be anxious about leaving the house at this point. None. But it still took something. It still took, okay, you're going to get up and do it. Get up and do it. And I had to make myself do it. And I did it. And of course it was fine, But again, it's tiring. And so I'll have my dinner. I'll probably have a snack later in the evening, probably another half PBJ or something like that. Tomorrow, I've got to try to eat as normally as possible. And I can tell you right now, it's going to be difficult for me. It's going to be difficult. I know that. Like, I'm not going to delude myself into thinking I'm magically tomorrow just going to be like, oh, back to work and everything's normal. Probably not. But I'm going to do my best. I have a piece of my quiche, which I haven't had since before, is in the fridge defrosting because I freeze them in individual servings, put them in the fridge. So that's defrosting, so it'll be ready for the morning to heat up. So I plan to have that for breakfast. And lunch should be normal food of some kind. I don't know. I'll have to see whether it's try again with the Thanksgiving meal or try one of the meals that I had cooked like last week. Again, they're fine because they've been in the freezer. That's how I do my meals, is everything is frozen. But either way, it will be something normal that I need to eat tomorrow for lunch. And I'm just going to have to pray through it pretty much. I'll probably be sitting there like, okay, you can do this. Take a bite. One bite at a time, one meal at a time. That's really all I can do. So pray for me. If you are a praying person, please pray for me because I need it. I am praying for me. I am working on this very hard. I talked earlier in the year about, I had a goal of like renewing my mind. I talked about that from, I think it's Philippians. To renew your mind is in the Bible. Actually, let me find what did I do? Oh, I can't look it up on my phone. Have you ever done that where you're like, where's my phone while you're using your phone? Like, really? Let me look it up on the iPad and I'll find the exact verse for you. I really should memorize it, shouldn't I? But it says to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But let me find the exact verse. It's actually Romans 12:2. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. That is the NASB version from 1977. So earlier in this year, I'd been talking about that, about renewing my mind, and I had a focus on that in February. And so I just need to do that again. I just need to work on renewing my mind and clearing out this anxiety that has no place in me. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, and God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And I don't feel that right now, but I believe it. And so I'm going to keep working on it until I feel it again. Because right now I very much feel like I have a spirit of fear, but I don't want it. And I'm going to keep renewing my mind, and I'm going to keep looking to God and to Christ for my strength during this time, because I will get through this as I've gotten through every challenge in my life. Everything in this life is temporary. Every challenge that you have is temporary. So I'll get through it. It's just going to take me some time, and I'll probably be a little bit tired for the foreseeable future while I work through it, because if you don't have anxiety, if you don't fight things like this, you don't know, but it is exhausting. Anxiety is exhausting, especially when you're trying to work through things in your mind, and you're constantly, it's like an internal fight, like all the time. And it's very tiring. And every time, and it is a good thing, because every time you fight it and every time you tell a truth against the anxiety and you prove to yourself that what you're afraid of is not real. So every time I take a bite, every time I finish a meal and I'm fine afterward, that's a victory. But it makes me tired to do it, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm at right now. I mean, it was a good week. It was. I mean, despite everything, the things that I am so grateful for, my family. I have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful family. Like I said, my sister made me soup, they came over to check on me after the dinner. They brought the leftovers to me. My mom's been over a couple of times to check on me over the past few days. They're just wonderful, wonderful family, and I'm super grateful for them. I am grateful for my friends. I have friends who are praying friends and who have been praying for me and helping me through this. I have a friend who, when she knows that I'm anxious, she'll call and just chat as a distraction. And I'm so grateful for her. I have a church family that I was able to reach out to and tell them that I needed prayer and that I needed extra help with this. And so I know I have people who are praying for me and who are for me in this. And I have my God, I have Jesus Christ, and I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, So I'm not alone in this, and there's a lot to be grateful for, even in everything that happened this week. I'm grateful we got Mom moved. That is done. She's in her new place. Even if not in her new suite, she's in the house, and she's getting used to that and enjoying it. She's very happy. Grateful for that. I'm grateful for my kitty cat who's on this cat tree over there. I'm grateful for this house. I've been in the house a bit over a year now, and it's awesome, and so blessed to have a house. So lots to be grateful for. So even though I'm kind of weary right now, sometimes I feel a little discouraged, especially while I'm trying to eat. But I just remind myself of the truth, which is that I'm very blessed, and I will get through this just as I did anything else. So if you are also struggling at this time, if you are struggling with anything, whether it's anxiety or whether it's depression or just anything, just remember that it's temporary. And I pray that you will be encouraged as you go through whatever you're going through. I pray for you. I'm praying right now for anyone out there who's struggling with anything, Lord. Please touch them. Please help them. Encourage them. Give them comfort. Give them strength to get through it. Remind them that it's temporary and that there will be blessings on the other end. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. And just be grateful. Gratitude is one of the best ways to counter worry, anxiety, depression, anything like that. So just start thinking about, what do I have to be grateful for? This Thanksgiving season, that's what it's about. What do I have to be grateful for? Do I have a place to live? Do I have food to eat? Do I have a job? Do I have family? Do I have friends? And if any of those things you don't have, I understand. That is rough. It is rough, but it's temporary. Stay strong. Know that I am praying for you, and that God is for you, and that He will bless you. He will, God can work all things together for good for those who are called according to His purpose. So if you look to Him and you trust in Him, you'll be fine. Like I said, sometimes I don't feel it, but I believe it. And so I cling to that when I'm having a rough time, and I pray that for you as well. So that is all I have. I'll show you a picture of the finished pie if it turns out good. If there's no picture of a pie, then you will know that things did not work out and that I'll have to try it again another time. But like I said, I have 4 more apples. So be it. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.